So you've been dating someone for a couple of months, but you're stuck in that what are we limbo. Is he looking for something serious or just playing the field? Well, in today's episode on 52, we're diving into the talk. The one that clears up if you're exclusive or just casually hanging out. Can you ask without scaring them off? How do you spot the signs that they might be ready for something real? Well, we've got Rodney Rubani, the expert dating coach, with the answers to help you navigate those confusing early dating moments. Stay tuned because this is a combo you won't want to miss. And the episode starts now. Ghosting, dating fatigue, situationships. Uh, Whether you're single or not, we're all aware that dating has become unnecessarily complicated. But honestly, does it really have to be? Let's change it up. I'm Kelly, a tech attorney here in New York.
And I'm Rodney, a dating and relationship coach, as well as a marriage and family therapist in Los Angeles.
And we're going to be sharing with you stories and tips to help you successfully date and meet your special someone. For our listeners that are single, grab your coffee and tea and get ready to learn how to date with intention. And for our listeners that are in relationships, we hope this helps you to further appreciate your special one and maintain your relationships. So on that note, welcome to 52. In today's segment, we're going to be tackling a question from one of our listeners who's navigating the often confusing world of modern dating. And who better help us out than Rodney, a renowned dating coach who has helped countless singles find love and navigate the ups and downs of the dating scene. Rodney, are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely.
All right. So here's a question from a 28-year-old in Los Angeles. She's been dating a guy for 2 months now and is confused about where they stand and if he's seeing anyone else. So, Rodney, her question is, how do you ask a guy if he's serious or playing around with you?
How long have they been dating?
They've been dating for 2 months.
And she's confused if they're exclusive or not.
Yeah. She's confused about if they're exclusive or not, if he's seeing anyone else.
Here's the hard truth.
Sounds like a situationship.
Yeah, listen, after 2 months, if you're still confused about what's going on, you're already in a situationship. A guy is very clear about his intentions and if he likes you or not. He's also very clear if he's ready for some level of commitment or not, right? So if you're confused, um, your intuition is right. Something is off. Most probably. There are times where it's just really big miscommunication, and that's not the case.
So then when should someone have that exclusivity talk? Well, is it better to bring it up earlier or to wait until you've been seeing each other for...
I think a month and a half, 2 months is a good time. You don't want to wait because you wait, you're wasting your time. If the guy or the girl is leading you on, you're wasting your time. And you're going to kick yourself in the butt saying, why didn't I bring this up earlier? Why didn't I figure it out sooner? If you wait and wait and wait, you're 6 months to a year in, you're attached, you're physical, and you're still confused. That is going to be a very hard breakup or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You bring it up. And I think a month and a half, 2 months is a good time period. By that point, you've gone on at least 4 or 5 dates. 4 or 5 dates is like, okay, this is something, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to say, hey, am I your girlfriend, right? Or, hey, am I your boyfriend? You don't have to name it that, but you can have a conversation about how you feel, right?
Right. So what signs should you look out for to know if it's the right time to have that exclusivity talk?
Very simple, actually. I can name thousands of different things that could be considered a sign, but it comes down to one thing. It comes down to how you feel. To trust your body and your gut, what it's telling you. If you're anxious or sad, or you're not sleeping, or something's up, that's your body telling you something's off.
Yeah, the gut always tells you what you're feeling. I really believe in that.
Correct.
But what should you do if the other person seems hesitant to commit or talk about exclusivity?
That's a red flag. If you bring up how you feel and they're stonewalling you or avoiding or pulling away or not giving you some type of clear response, that's a red flag. Big problem. It could sound something like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? We've just been on 5 dates. That's crazy, red flag, get out. It could also sound something very, very honest, which I give the person a little bit more credit for, but also a red flag. Hey, to be honest with you, I'm just not really looking for anything serious. I'm not sure. We're just figuring it out. Like, I don't know, right? Which
That's
I wouldn't say is necessarily a red flag, especially if there's more after that.
it's honest, but like if your intentions aren't aligned there, that's when you know you should break it off, right?
Right. And that doesn't necessarily mean you should continue and go ahead.
Yeah.
Correct. But there's also some girls who are like, tell me, I need to know, what are we? Right?
That puts
Uh,
pressure. That puts so much pressure on someone.
right. You don't want to do that either.
So that's the thing. Sometimes exclusivity is something welcome, but because the topic is brought up in a way that might feel pressuring or just very aggressive, it might cause the person receiving the message to take a step back and not be interested.
Well, that's why it's important that talk about it a certain way.
So
And
exactly. So how should you bring up the topic without making the other person feel pressured?
you make it about your feelings. So you don't say, hey, when are you gonna ask me to be your girlfriend? Um, you haven't asked me if I'm dating anyone else or not, or are you dating anyone else or not? You make it about your feelings. You say something like, listen, I actually really like hanging out with you. I like where this is going. I'm all about being transparent, real, and upfront. I'm not dating just to date. And I'm not saying that I want to get married tomorrow. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. You've asked me to come to your house a couple times instead of going on real dates. Um, and I just want to make sure that we're moving on the same similar path. And I'm just confused. I'm
Honestly, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Message like you just said right now, it creates a comfort zone and, an environment where you could actually openly talk about your current status,
hmm
dating status with the person. So I love that. But let's switch things up for a second. If the person you're dating brings up the exclusivity topic and you're not sure whether you're ready for exclusivity or not, or whether you even want it, how do you handle that conversation? I mean, the person can really like the person that's bringing up exclusivity, but how do they handle it?
Very simple. You stay honest. You say how you feel, where you're at. It could be, hey, I don't want anything committed, and I just want to let you know. You should have brought it up sooner, but respectable. Or, hey, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to get to know you, and I think we're figuring things out, and I really like you too. I'm just not fully sure, and I want to kind of see where this goes. And giving some type of time might give the other person reassurance. I need a couple more I need another month or a couple more dates to see where we're at. Or, to say, hey, oh my God, I don't want you to be confused. I actually really like you and I'm so happy that I'm getting to know you and I'm not really talking to anyone and I hope you're not talking to anyone and, that's where I'm at. The worst answer you could give is a lie. A lie when you feel off and you don't know or you're not interested in something long term or what the other person's looking for and saying, oh, no, everything is okay.
Hmm. When it's not
Correct.
actually okay.
Or when there's something actually on your mind.
I'm just wrapping this up now. Are there any tips you have for someone who's going to bring up exclusivity, how to make it comfortable and make sure that both people feel like they're being heard in the conversation about exclusivity.
This is just a tip overall for anyone dating, any human being at work, with your friends. Be honest. Just be transparent, because what you're holding back now, it's going to come up later times 50. And it's going to hurt the other person and you. Confront whatever it is early on. Talk about whatever you need to talk about early on and be transparent.
Awesome. That's very helpful. Thank you, Rodney. You've given us so many valuable tips to navigate today's dating world with intention and confidence. Before we wrap up, where can our listeners find more of your work and connect with you? I'm sure they'll want to keep following you for more dating advice.
Very present on Instagram, so people could follow me on Instagram. We also have created a page that, is insightful towards a lot of the questions and work surrounding relationships and things like that. Again, over Instagram.
Awesome. Definitely check that out, everyone. And to our listeners, if you have your own dating questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please submit your question. We would love to hear from you. You can submit your questions through the link provided. And as always, thanks for tuning in to 52. If you enjoyed today's segment, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends, because we all know love is better when it's shared. Until next time, stay confident, intentional, and authentic. Happy dating. The content in this podcast is for entertainment and is not mental health, medical, or personal relationship counseling. It is not a substitute for professional expertise and judgment from a licensed healthcare or mental health professional. You should seek the advice of a qualified professional when seeking mental health or medical advice to obtain a diagnosis or any treatment regarding your mental health or well-being. The content in this podcast may not be applicable to you and your specific situation. Topics discussed in this podcast may include information that may be considered sensitive or emotionally charged to some people, and therefore listener discretion is advised. References to third-party resources are for informational purposes only, and 52 Inc. takes no responsibility for the content of those resources. This podcast is copyrighted 2025 by 52 Inc., all rights reserved.